Today we're going to talk about something that I've wanted for a long time, and that is a pair of the swamp shoes from Rick Owens' Spring Summer 19 collection. I haven't even worn these shoes. I haven't put them on yet. I got them in the mail yesterday. First off, let me say that these shoes are in flawless condition. There is no heel drag. All of the strings are still intact. Of course, the thing that interested me in these are the swampy aspects of them. Those being the little danglies that are coming off here, almost like a moss, Spanish moss where I'm from. And we've got this swampy, translucent leather, almost like the film you would see on top of the little creek behind me. You can see a little bit of the shoe through the leather, see a little bit about how it's constructed. You can see here that there are seams, stitch seams running up through here, so you can see how it's anchored to the shoe. I was also really interested to see that here in the toe area, this is a part that I had always been concerned about might leave the shoe first. You know, typically the toes is where something will start to separate, but you can see here that they have got a little notch here, and then you can see through this transparent sole that they've actually stitched the toe to the upper of the shoe, which is reassuring, so that's great. So let's talk about the main feature with these, and that is the leather itself. So this is what I understand is called Apparition Leather, and it was developed by Ryuichi and Echo, ECCO. It was an experimental leather that came out of, looks like, a series of material designs that he came up with for Echo along with their team. It's semi-translucent. I intend to confirm this with Rick Owens. I think that they'll answer my question just like they did last time about my leather jacket. Allegedly, this leather is waterproof, and also it reacts to the environment. It gets more pliable in the humidity. If that is true, it should be in its pliable state pretty much year long. If it's dry, it stiffens. So those are some interesting properties to the material if that is accurate. It's got swamp green laces. I love shoes that are all more or less one color, and this, I would say, is all more or less one color. As you can see, it's got the transparent shark tooth sole, shark teeth facing in either direction, and the Rick Owens signature on the bottom. I think that these are mainline Rick Owens because they don't have the dark shadow tab, and the construction of it, how solid it is, I'm pretty positive that this is mainline Rick Owens. I look back at the Spring Summer 19 collection, and I didn't see any of these shoes styled in the runway show, any of the swampy shoes, any of the Swamp Ramones or the Swamp Runners. That was interesting. I kind of wonder at what point he came out with these. If you know, please put it in the comments. Handling it when I received it, I was really surprised at how soft and pliable it was. It looked to me, from all of the images that I had seen of it, like it was almost like parchment, like it was almost like plastic. That's really not the case. It is very supple. It is incredibly supple here in the tongue. It feels like it would move well. It's stiff where you want it, and it's flexible where you'd want it. No creases yet on the toe box here. I'm interested to see if the leather changes over time. It does have a removable insole, which is great. I love that. Regarding the stitches that are coming off here, I'm going to trim the interior stitches, but not the exterior stitches. And the reason for that is those are the ones that I could potentially step on with the other shoe, and then when I try to take a step with this shoe, it rips the stitching out or rips the seams out. So I'm definitely going to trim those up. Beyond that, I don't know if I'm going to treat it for water resistance. Normally I would put a spray on there, but I'm going to hold off on that until I hear back from Rick Owens and see whether or not this is supposed to be waterproof leather. If it is, that is really impressive that it has all of those properties. Tear resistant, reacting to the environment, although arguably all leather reacts to the environment in some way. I got these in a size 44. I'm pretty much a 44 in all of Rick Owens shoes, but I've got 44 and a halves and 45. This afternoon I'll do a check-in and see what I've learned from wearing the shoe, from styling it with a few outfits, and come back to you with any feedback I might have. Now we've styled the shoes, now I've tried them on, and let's do a little bit of discussion about the leather since I've had them, and then some thoughts about sizing, etc. My impressions wearing it around is that it just has this look and this personality on your feet that feels almost biological, which to me feels very different from a lot of what Rick Owens has, in that, you know, it looks sculptural. It looks like it's cut out of marble. It looks like it's just kind of smooth, polished lines. And this is as well in its design. But the leather, it looks like mold, it looks like lichen, mushrooms, all the dark modeling. It looks like a husk. And seeing translucent things in nature, usually it is very delicate things, very fragile things. Something that is maybe a little bit menacing in nature might be clear, or something that's very fragile. Those are the things that it makes me think of. Another thing that I have been curious about is whether or not the leather is just completely translucent. If what you're seeing is the green modeling and the tans and the kind of yellow beige colors, if that is glue and the backside of the leather, if you're just seeing straight through to the shoe's construction. And that does make sense. You know, if you kind of look in the back, you see the suede heel patch here, and then you can kind of make out the grain of the suede on the heel as well there. The same is true for the side. The shoe is trimmed in green leather on the inside, and it looks like some of that is showing up on the other side of the shoe, and you may just be seeing straight through to that. It makes me think of early naturalist drawings when they would do cross sections and you could see straight through to the interior of the animal. I also sort of had some associations with jellyfish, and that it has those tendrils coming off of the shoes. In terms of sizing, it was extremely snug. I'm a true 11.5. Fitting into this shoe was a little problematic at first. My toes were just ramming the front of the shoe. You can see here from the insole, you can see that my toe is just running off the top there. So it is very tight. I tried putting one of my cycling cleat insoles in there thinking that it might be thinner, and it wasn't. Made it a little bit worse. And then I just took the insole completely out and wore it like that, and that was the most comfortable. And just top to bottom, this toe box is very low. Of these four, this is the lowest profile silhouette of all of these shoes, and that's what makes them look good. They look fast. You know, something that's low and aerodynamic just has kind of like a look of speed about it. A 44.5 would have been perfect on the money, but I can definitely work with this no problem, especially as it gets more worn in with the insole inside of it. How does it feel on the foot? In comparison to all of these, this one is very comfortable, but if you take a wrong step, you can just kind of, your foot will fall straight off the sole there, the midsole. The Maximal Runner is like walking on a marshmallow, and this is just super light. It's the lightest of all of these. I actually work out in this. This is somewhere in between. It's got the lightness of this one, but it's stiff, but it feels closer on the feet, and it feels a little bit more ready for action than this one, which is heavy and plush. When I'm scrambling around and setting up for these shoots, the shoe that I would pick out to do that would definitely be the Veja shoes. They're light on the feet, They hold to your foot really well. It's easy to get up and go in them. These slow me down just a little bit, I think because of the flange on the back of the shoe, a little bit of the weight, and a little bit of the stiffness, the sturdiness, which is what I like about them in many ways, but the stiffness and sturdiness makes them a little bit more suited for a lifestyle than actually going to the gym or running. In terms of styling, there was no problem styling it. I've got lots of grays, browns, tans, creams, earth tones that really work well with these shoes. Of course, one of the reasons it was so easy to style is because I had my good friend stand in as modeling talent, thanks to him. Another feature I would mention about these that is really interesting is the tongue of the shoe has just a little notch in it right there, and I love that because it's something that only the person who owns the shoe would really see. And these are the kind of details that I think make Rick Owens' best pieces stand out, is that they've got design where you wouldn't expect it in the smallest details. I just love these shoes. They're modern, but they're natural, and they fit in really well where I am. I've always loved the swamp, and I've always loved nature. It's one of my first loves, and there's really no better inspiration you could take than the natural environment. So I really do love these shoes. Hope they keep pushing the envelope on material technology and the things that they can do with it. It really is special. I've never seen anything like it. That's probably why it's such a sought after collection of shoes. So that's it for these. I love them. They're unique. I'll get you another video out there as soon as I can. Y'all take it easy. Don't subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.